Hello everybody, this is Hero. This is my Soul Level 6 New Game Plus Pure Black World Tendency playthrough of Demon Souls. And today we're heading back to the Valley of Defilement because we have unfinished business and I have 99 Dark Moon Grasses. You wanna know why I have 99 Dark Moon Grasses? Because I farmed. I think I have 65 hours on this character now. This is after beating New Game Plus and going through Shrine of Storms for the third time. I have 65 hours in this game, and I think at least 8 or 9 or maybe even 10 hours of it was farming this area and the final boss area for Dark Moon Grasses, because in Pure Black World Tendency the drop rate is increased and they drop some they drop some fantastic grass. This is Dark Moon Grass. It is basically a divine blessing in Demon Souls. And what this means is it fully heals you. It takes just as long as any other grass to use, which means there's no extended use time on it like there would be with a Stone of Ephemeral Eyes, which fully heals you and puts you back into human form. And it also cures all your status effects, which is what was really important for this part, because I am wading through a swamp, and this swamp constantly poisons you, and in order for me to take care of some of the enemies that I encounter, including Selen Vinland, the Black Phantom Selen Vinland, which is incidentally also our last Black Phantom to take care of in this playthrough, I needed to use it because otherwise I'd get killed basically by the poison. And you might say, well, why would you need Dark Moon Grass? Why would you spend all that time farming? Or, better yet, why would you spend all that time farming when you can use the duplication glitch with Stockpile Thomas? And the answer is, I used the duplication glitch with Stockpile Thomas to get the 99 items for my Stones of Ephemeral Eyes, because I don't know how to farm them efficiently, and just for the sake of making the game harder for myself, I wasn't going to spend 20 hours farming these things that I'll possibly need, 30, 40 of in order to complete the game like this. So that's why I did that. And why did I need Dark Moon Grasses? Because I needed the full heal as well. If I'd just used the plague healing item, I'd be walking 10 steps, using another plague healing item, walking 10 steps, using an item, walking 10 steps, using an item. This way I can run and walk through the entire swamp basically without worrying about keeping my health at a manageable level, because even if you hit the heal on with the lotus thing to heal your plague, you still lose a fair amount of health, and that can add up after 2 or 3 or 4 times. So that's why. This is why I felt I needed the Dark Moon Grass, because it just made things so much easier, even though it did take more than a few hours to farm all this crap. And I think I only ended up using about 30 just over the entire course of me wandering around in the swamp. And I probably could have done, if I was really practiced, I probably could have done with about 4 or 5, or if I was really practiced, I could just use the Widow's Lotus to keep healing myself, just getting rid of the poison before it could take any real amount of health away. But this is the way I did it, and even though it was maybe a little bit of a waste of time, this is how I'm doing it now. This is funny, this is Selen Vinland, and I've approached her in hyper mode with my my dragon longsword, and I just tried to block her, and she uses a weapon called the Blind, and the Blind ignores shields. But what's funny at the moment is that I've got the Grave Robber ring on, which I just changed to then, and this makes it harder for Black Phantoms to detect you. And while the game is telling the NPC that no, you can't see him, you can't interact with him, because you get within that range around NPCs where they suddenly they have to acknowledge that you're there. Their heads turn. Her head turns to sort of address me over her shoulder, and she can see me, and she's hostile, but because the game's telling her she can't see me yet as an enemy, this is what happens. You end up being able to reset her aggro, then walk back and backstab her, and then run away again. And that's just what happens. And now, what's funny is Selen Vinland has some healing spells, I think, and I think she used some on me. And what am I waiting for here? Am I waiting for my... Yeah, I'm waiting for hyper mode to activate, sorry. I'm just wondering, why am I standing still? Yeah, I'm waiting for that. And see, I've already taken over 2/3 of her health, and I've just started to run away again. And I think if I could hear the audio at the moment, I'd probably hear her using her heal spell. And I'd be going, hey, wait, hey bitch, don't do that. So I just healed myself with my Darkmoon Grass again, and I'm gonna walk back and see where she's at, because she's de-aggroed from me because she can't see me because of the Grave Robber Ring. And by the way, I'm aware this is a really bitchy way to take care of her, but also be aware that they have a really bitchy way to take care of you. And this is because they can move around in this swamp that you have to wade through all the time, and there's no rusted iron ring to make you be able to run in it. That just doesn't happen. This is what happens. This is bullshit. See, look, she can roll just fine. If I try to roll, I do like a little cerebral palsy step and go like, bleh. I'm sorry if that was really, really offensive. Excuse me. I just do this little step, and then I get staggered, and you can get hit by anyone. And when you're in the swamp with something as dangerous as a Black Phantom enemy, why can they move at normal speed and you can't? I'm just wondering, because she is human just like me. I can kind of understand the other monsters, them not being hindered so much because, you know, they're in their element, they're in their shit all the time, so you can kind of understand that. But why can she move? Why can she move around here if all she's doing canonically is looking for Garl Vinland? I don't get it. So, now that Selen Vinland is pretty much dead, there we go, she's dead. She drops the blind, the weapon that she uses that ignores shields. I'm not exactly sure how good it is in either, you know, versus the environment or in PvP, but I think it's pretty cool. I like Dark Souls has the Shuttle, which ignores shields on the R2 attack, but it didn't have a weapon that just outright ignored shields, and I think PvP was probably pretty glad for that. So now that Selen Vinland is actually dead, that means I have pure white character tendency. And that means that while I'm in soul form, basically, while I have the half-life bar and everything, I have a plus 20% damage boost, which is, you know, compared to the clever rat ring giving you an extra 50, and the Morion blade giving you an extra 60, and that getting up to 140% damage increase, basically, after it's all, you know, mathed up, and I don't know how to do math, so, you know, after it's at 140%, you get this extra 20%, and I'm not sure if that makes it even higher, like if it actually secretly adds more than 20%, but it didn't seem to, for me. I'm not sure, but I just look at it like that extra 20% damage boost is just basically when you enter a boss fog, the boss is basically 20% deader than it would have been before. And I didn't just get this 20% damage bonus. I probably would have noticed it more. I probably would have noticed it a whole lot more if I'd gotten it if you just gone from no bonus to 20% when you got to pure white, but the stage before pure white is just white character tendency, and at that point you get a plus 10% damage boost as well. So I was already doing an extra 10%. So I didn't really seem to notice myself doing all that much damage, but I needed this. Well, I didn't technically need it. I wanted the plus 20% so that I'd have basically the absolute maximum amount of damage that I could do at this point with my soul level and my equipment, which is pretty decent because I still take off decent chunks of boss health whenever I fight them, so that's definitely a plus. Getting into NG+, I was really surprised to see how some of the bosses got this massive inflation in health, and some of them really didn't. Some of them basically got like a 30% increase, whereas some of them, like I think the Flame Lurker probably got about, I don't know, somewhere in the realm of a 50 or 60% increase, because I was doing much less damage to him. And when I faced the Flame Lurker in my first playthrough, actually no, when I faced the Flame Lurker in my first playthrough, I wouldn't have had the Morion blade, because you need the red hot demon soul, which he gives you in order to make the Morion blade. So I would have. Oh, that's right. I didn't even use the clever rat ring, sorry, because at that point I wasn't even learning to play the game properly, so I was just spamming grass every time I got hit, and I was going like, right, I need to start the NG Plus playthrough, and so when I got to NG Plus, I had to actually fucking learn how to play. Now this bit's a bit strange, because it's not a bit strange, it's just a bit clusterfucky, because there are so many enemies here. There's just 2 hiding to my right, there was 1 hiding in the house to the left, there's a couple more up higher on different levels, there's 1 more hiding off in the distance off to the right. You can maybe see him on the right there. I can't tell, the preview window here is kind of small in comparison to what I was playing with, and I play in a 40-inch TV, so I've seen myself, like, through this preview window shooting at things and damaging things that I couldn't even see, so I guess that's a testament to how much difference screen size can sometimes make. And this guy's getting awfully close for comfort. Shit! I'm dead. There we go. That was embarrassing, but thankfully I've cut out the journey up to here, which was funny because when I was going back through this just before I sat down to start commentary, the video was about 35 minutes long, and I was going, shit, this is going to be longer than my Battle of the Uploaders, which is currently my longest video that I've ever commentated the entire thing for. And I was thinking, oh, this is going to be rough on the throat, and I'm thinking, but I only have 5-2 and 5-3 in here, and 5-3 is just a boss, so 5-2 didn't take me that long. It didn't take me that long with all the edits done and everything. And it turned out that what I'd done is I'd just left in all the traversal from after I'd died. Then after I got hit by that one guy, I'd left in the complete journey back, and that was about 6-7 minutes of walking. And what you're seeing at the moment is me sort of stumbling through this area, because this is basically my first time through trying to get the no damage on this area, and let me tell you, it's kind of confusing because the draw distance is absolute shit in here, and there are so many enemies, and you can't walk around in the swamp without getting poisoned, and so what happens is basically just me wandering around looking at stuff, and this is why this level took me the 23-24 minutes that it did, because this is what happened. I was actively exploring and doing this at the same time. But luckily I only died that one time against that one enemy just before, because I don't even know if I could retrace my steps now, because I think I probably could, I'm not sure. Where am I going now? I'm not even sure. So I think I was exploring the boundaries and seeing if there was somewhere I was meant to get off, because I've seen people go through this area before, but never actually paid attention to it. It's one of those things where if you've got a video of someone playing Demon Souls in the background and you're playing your own game and you're not necessarily looking at them play, and you're just hearing their commentary, they're saying, oh, and you can just walk around here and then, walk up here and kill these 2 guys and walk up here and you're good, and that was a shortcut. I don't know what that shortcut was because I wasn't looking at it. So this was an exercise in looking for how to get through the level, as I went through this area very differently my first time through, because I wasn't afraid to take some damage because these guys didn't one-shot kill me like they do now. So once again, if you're watching this video, then you're probably noticing that I'm being really super tentative with the bow out and everything, and I've already kind of apologized for this because I got my ass kicked so hard in 5-1 trying to do melee only that I wasn't prepared to do this area that has this many enemies that can all potentially aggro on you at once without really knowing my way around, and just all these circumstances that came together that I was just like, nah, fuck that. So I just used the bow for this entire area. This is it. When I use a bow, I've said this before, that this is a sign that I had trouble in an area. Because the bow is easy mode. It's complete and total easy mode, especially with the Thief's Ring. Because you put it on and suddenly nobody can see you. No enemies can see you until you get really close. And even if they do see you, if you decide you want to run away, you can, because you'll run faster than they can, and you can get out of their aggro range before they manage to catch up with you again, and they'll just figure, oh, well, you've gone too far for my arbitrary chasing limit, and they'll just walk back to where they came from. And I'm not really sure I would have wanted to do this area any other way, because looking at what's going on here, there are so many enemies, and see, what does this guy drop? Do I go pick it up? No, I'm just ignoring it because I don't need any more Dark Moon Grass. Because all of these guys can drop Dark Moon Grass. They can also drop Faint Stone. That's the blessed upgrade. That's the faith scaling upgrade branch in this game. And I'm looking around because there's a path up there, and I think that leads to getting a different weapon or unlocking a shortcut or something. And so I'm looking around, I'm like, what the hell is out here? What do I... And then I realize, oh shit, here's the boss fog. So, yay, happy times. Put on the dragon longsword. I know this boss is really easy. He's basically the asylum demon, but with a bigger health bar. So, just run in. He attempts to fire his shit at you. Just don't bother doing anything about it. Don't touch the black clouds of flies. I think they damage you. I'm not sure. I've never actually touched them before. And just dodge out of the way of his AoE explosions, and that's pretty much all you have to worry about. Just stay behind him, attack. Look how much damage I'm doing. This is ridiculous. Yeah, so Dirty Colossus, not the most difficult boss out there, although at the moment I'm certainly making it look kind of tense. So he's dead on the first try, which is not really an achievement you can go bragging home about. It's just the Dirty Colossus. It's not like it's Alent, I guess. And Alent gave me so much trouble in my first playthrough because I had to completely learn how to dodge him, because even with Soul level 6, he even just on new game on Soul level 6, he one-shot me in Soul form, and I wasn't about to completely bitch out and like I did with fighting Scurver on my first playthrough by going into body form in order to fight him, in order to be able to take a hit. So right now we're on our way into the third part of the Valley of Defilement. And the third part of the Valley of Defilement is, when you hear there are 3 Archstones to each world, and you've been through the first 2 Archstones, and you're like, holy shit, if all of them are this long, how big is this game going to be? And it's not. It's not very big at all, because the third world, so the third archstone of every world except for Bolletarian Palace, is a boss. It's basically just a big boss arena, and that's it. This is Maiden Australia, the sixth, I think she's called the sixth Saint Australia, and Garl Vinland is her knight. Now, I'm not completely up on the lore here, but I've heard it's a very, very tragic story about innocents lost, corrupted, people becoming demons without even really realizing it. And yeah, so there are two ways you can win this boss fight. This is by either killing Garl Vinland or by killing Maiden Australia. And in order to kill Maiden Australia, you have to jump down into the pit below, where there are like aborted plague babies in the water, which is look at me, just look at my pro walking skills. I've just managed to slip down, and I've gone, well shit, I'm not going to be able to make it to Maiden Australia, because the shit down the bottom of this pool doesn't just cause poison, it causes plague, and plague pretty much instantly kills me. Yeah, and not to mention the babies actually one-shot kill me. So, second try, here we are. So here we are back at this archstone, and I've got the magic sword Makoto out, which, while it's equipped, will drain your HP by 1 or 2 points every tick, which is, because I say tick because it's not quite a second, but what I've realized I can just do here is, instead of waiting for this sword to drain my life away really, really slowly, I can just switch to I can just walk into fire for a bit and get myself down to clever rat ring territory. So now we can head in and hopefully take care of Garl Vinland, because as I was saying before, you can either kill Maiden Australia or you can kill Garl Vinland, and killing Maiden Australia is hard because you need to be able to cross the pool of whatever they are, the babies, the aborted babies, and in order to kill Maiden Australia you can also just kill Garl Vinland, and doing that is much easier because in my opinion is pretty easy to parry. And when I watched what's his name, Emaryl's play, yeah, see my lovely parrying skills. Oh, it's really easy to parry, and then I die. So what I saw Emeryl do was he roll in and then strike with the roll attack with the dragon longsword, and then do another attack. And because the NPC sort of, their way to react to you attacking their shield is to immediately attack you back, because Garl's attack has such a wind-up to it, he's forced to take at least one hit when you do that roll-in attack and the second attack, and then Emeryl will just roll out because Garl would not be able to attack him again in time in order to kill him. So it was completely safe, and he just rolled forward and backward and did those two attacks about, I don't know, 9 or 10 times in a row, and that was it. But I prefer this way just because I think it looks a bit better. It's a little bit better than just exploiting a game mechanic in my opinion, but then again, this isn't on New Game Plus 7 like his playthrough was. I don't have the patience for that, I don't think, or the sanity. So you kill Garl Vinland like that. It took 3 parries. You can pick up all of his shit if you want to, but I couldn't carry it and I didn't even have any use for it, so I just left it where it was. And so you have to walk up and get to Maiden Australia now, and you catch the plague on the way over. And if you don't have Dark Moon Grass, or you don't have any of the Widow's Lotus that cures plague, then you're basically fucked, because unless you really skip through all their dialogue, and if this is your first time through, you don't really want to skip through all the dialogue, because there's some cool dialogue sometimes. And yeah, so if you're not careful, she can just kill you by talking you to death, essentially, because you'll catch the plague, and then before you even know it, because Plague drains your HP so fast, you'll just die before you get to the end. So, this is me showing you my equipment, because I forgot to show you while I was in the actual world, because I had the Plague status, and I figured I didn't want to stick around and say, look, 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 but that was... The Valley of Defilement has gone to pretty much almost pure white again, because I killed Dirty Colossus, and I killed Selen Vinland, and I also killed the Archdemon of the 5th level, so that means I got about +7 points, bring me from -5 to about +2, so I'm pretty close to good white tendency there. Anyway, I've talked over a bit. This was the entire 5th Archstone in just a couple of videos, so thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.